So you've all seen a tour of my garden, but today I'm going to show you a tour from above. Now above I'm sure looks quite different, completely different perspective, and I hope to point out a few areas and a few things, maybe some projects that I am interested in working on. Let's get that drone up. So basically, I'm on 4 acres here, and as you can see, it's really lush and it's lovely and it's really quite cool. I live in a valley, and the best way to describe it is like an amphitheater, like it's all kind of circled around, so the house sits facing north and it looks over the paddocks and the garden, and it's all kind of, I don't know, it feels very safe. I guess it's kind of hard to describe it. It feels like a safe feeling. It's not flat, you're not looking out over vastness, it's all kind of together, like, I don't know, hard to explain, but I think from seeing the footage you might get that idea. It just means you can see everywhere because it kind of circles around and goes up. So yes, the hills are a bit annoying sometimes, but it's actually pretty good and it's different. I really like this place because it's very different, I think, to just a flat piece of land. Even though a flat piece of land is obviously much easier to maintain and to build stuff on. So as you can see, and as I'm sure you've seen in my other videos, I have a central garden area which consists of lots of tropical plants and fruits, and then I have a pool area too, and it's kind of like, I designed it years ago off the basis of a resort style garden. So as you can see, if you're looking towards the house, I guess it's all on the right side. That's more, the garden is much more established and it is grown up more of what you can see behind me, the cabana, pools there, and behind the house, I'm not sure if I've actually put it in any of my videos yet, but I have a really nice spa area. Again, kind of out of action at the moment. It's been having some leaking issues, which is so annoying. Um, but yeah, so that's all the garden, like well-established side. The area more to the left is less has been done to that, and even behind it as well, I've got a row of citrus trees. I've got quite a few orange trees back there and some mandarin trees. Apart from that, it's kind of almost a bit more of a native area, but I have had some plans for a while to do some pretty major renovations back there, and I kind of leave that section for that reason. So that's why that side is much less developed, because like I'm more finished with this side that's behind me now. Obviously, it's an ever-evolving process, but for now, it is more finished, and at least in this next little while, there's not too much I really want to do. Then again, looking forward towards the paddocks from the house. This is an area I know I've talked about in other videos I'm quite excited for. So something I did about a week ago, I have decided, because of the extreme costs of fruit and veggies, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm pretty well covered with fruit, but something I like is berries. So I have picked out a whole lot of raspberries, strawberries, and blueberry varieties. I already grow some blueberries, which are fantastic, but I've picked out quite a few berries to grow because they are just so expensive in the stores, and I try and be healthy sometimes, have like a smoothie with banana, some Greek yogurt, and some berries, and it's fantastic. But here in Australia, it's costing like sometimes $6, $8, $10 per punnet, per little packet of berries, and it's just ridiculous, and it's pretty easy to grow here. And I know berries traditionally are much more suited to colder climates, but I've deliberately chosen berries which suit well to more subtropical and warm temperate climates, so they should go quite well here. And yeah, so I'm quite excited. You can see this middle paddock area. It's a bit overgrown, it's got winter grass, it's start of winter here, it's freezing, but I'm going to start in these next couple of weeks. When I get the berries, I'm going to start putting some fencing areas up and some space to actually start growing these, and I'm very excited. So again, if you've seen any of my other videos, I have a lot of fruit trees around, and I have a lot of citrus trees. I just did a video on that, and I have mango trees, a couple of avocado trees, and peach trees, a whole variety of different things, and of course bananas being a more recent addition. I have quite a few banana trees which I love, and I've harvested them and they're delicious, and I love this whole idea of just growing your own fruits and vegetables. And for me personally, I've always found vegetables, I don't know, I always find vegetables harder. I know it's quicker and maybe easier in some ways, but fruit trees, I find it's you're in for the long run. I mean, you might plant something and it can take years for it to actually fruit, but it's really looking after it. Like, you may not have to water it as much, but you have to fertilize every few months. You have to spray it for pests, trim it, Whereas vegetables, I don't know, I really want to be better. I'm good with some vegetables. I'm usually pretty good with herbs, but I want to get better at more things like broccoli and carrots and some of those staples which are so good. And again, I'm good with some of those, but I want to expand that and get better. So yeah, so paddocks, the first thing is the berries. Further than that, I have been wanting to get either maybe not an excavator, but some sort of small digger. Again, they're very expensive. It's something to help kind of level out and dig out some more little roads and little areas to get access to be planting some more things and planting some more food and plants and all of that. And again, in these, I've got some ideas that I've had for these paddock areas and to do some more drainage and help with the drainage. And with all the rain we're having, drainage is a big issue at the moment. So I don't know, I'm thinking in the next couple of weeks, I'm just looking at a few things and just seeing, because I can do, and I have done a lot of this stuff by hand, apart from obviously some of these bigger projects that I've done and hardscape things I've actually had people in to help, obviously. But with some of these planting things, on like a bigger scale things that I want to get into, it would be really handy to obviously have a tractor or just something small to help me out. Further than that, you can see on the drone footage, I have quite a big creek that runs through the center of my property, and it's really nice actually. It's nice hearing that trickle of the water sound running through, and really all summer it's run because of how wet it's been. But when it rains, and here it rains heavily, like it rains, there's a big storm, and the creek just like flooding, it's flooded the pool. It has been a bit of a nightmare, but it is nice to have a creek, I guess. It just gets the runoff from up in the valley and just up in the bush behind me, and yeah, with all this rain, it has been just running hard through the property, like tearing through. Again, it's good the house is up higher. I'm not too worried about that. Like the house is never flooded, and it wouldn't because it's obviously up. But some areas like the pool, the big focus on the designing the pool was so it would be like a lagoon style, like billabong, like Australian billabong, as in it looks like it's in the lowest point, so it naturally, you know, so it's like naturally occurring there. If that makes sense. The pool was one of the original things that was done, and it was before my time of designing. I think if I was to do it again, if I was to do it personally and design it, I would design it higher. But it looks great as it is, and I love it, obviously. I also find it really quite interesting because in the areas around the house and the garden, it is quite obvious how green and how, I guess, lush it is in the valley here. I think again with the trees and the landscape, it creates quite a humid and more tropical environment, like a kind of microclimate. It doesn't get cold, like we don't get frosts here. And in summer it gets, I guess, a bit cooler and more and a bit damper with all these trees and plants, and it's really quite cool. So there we go. There's a quick overview, I guess, of my property from above, and a bit of a talk from me about some things that I want to do. I haven't gone into too much detail about the house's plans and that. I have been working on things for a while now, but again, it's just very expensive, and they are big decisions to make. And yeah, I just want to make sure that everything's in order, design stuff is good. But in the meantime, I have really enjoyed working on the property and getting into planting and all of that, because it is something that I can really just go out and do myself. I don't need planning approval. I don't need to spend large amounts of money. I can work on it when I want to. And yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you, I guess, enjoyed, maybe is not the right word, but I hope you found this update interesting, and that, yeah, I have a few things that I've got planned coming up and some things I want to get into, but yeah, stick around, subscribe, and you'll see those things happen. Anyway, thank you. I'll see you guys next time.